The next 3 days passed in a blur of stolen moments. Coffee in the morning at a cafe near Central Park. Lunch at a hole-in-the-wall deli where no one would recognize them. Long walks through the city, talking about everything and nothing. Ava opened up slowly, like a flower hesitant to bloom. She told him about her childhood in Paris, her father's suffocating expectations, her mother's cold perfectionism. She told him about meeting Mark at a charity gala, see how he'd swept her off her feet with his confidence and vision, how the diagnosis had come just 3 years into their marriage, shattering everything. "He made me promise not to put my life on hold," Ava said as they sat on a bench overlooking the Hudson. "Before he got really bad, when he could still speak clearly, he told me he wanted me to be happy, to find someone else if I needed to. But how can I? Everyone would see me as the heartless wife who abandoned her dying husband. Do you care what everyone thinks? I shouldn't. But yes, I do. My parents drilled it into me. Reputation is everything. Image is everything. And Mark's family, his business partners, they all watch me, waiting for me to slip up, to give them a reason to call me a gold digger who only married him for his money." "Did you?" Ava turned to him sharply, hurt flashing across her face. Then she saw his expression, open, genuinely curious, not accusatory, and relaxed. "No, I signed a prenup that gave me almost nothing if we divorced. And when he got sick, I could have left. The prenup had a clause about incapacitation. I could have walked away with a settlement and been free. But I didn't. I stayed because he needed me. Because I made vows. Because underneath all the complicated feelings, I still care about him." Ethan took her hand, lacing their fingers together. "You're a good person, Ava. Have no right to feel, and I feel even have no right to feel, and I feel even guiltier. You're allowed to be human. You're allowed to want connection. Am I? Because it feels selfish. It feels like I'm betraying him. He told you to find happiness. He said that when he thought he'd die within a year. That was 6 years ago. I don't think he expected me to actually do it while he's still alive." They sat in silence, watching boats drift by on the water. Finally, Ava spoke again. "I go back to San Francisco tomorrow. Back to that house, that life. Back to being Mrs. Mark Henry, the devoted wife keeping vigil. And us? There is no us, Ethan. There can't be. Then why are you holding my hand like you don't want to let go?" Ava looked down at their intertwined fingers, and a tear rolled down her cheek. Because I don't. God help me, I don't want to let go." "Then don't." "It's not that simple. It could be." "No, it couldn't." Ava pulled her hand away, standing up. "You live in San Francisco. I live in San Francisco. Mark is there. His nurses, his staff, his whole world is watching me. We can't do this." Ethan stood, facing her. "Can't, or won't. Both. Neither. I don't know." She wrapped her arms around herself. "All I know is that this week has been the happiest I've felt in 7 years, and that terrifies me, because happiness isn't something I'm allowed to have right now." "Says who?" "Says everyone. Society, my parents, Mark's family, my own conscience. I have responsibilities, Ethan. Obligations. I can't just abandon them because I met someone who makes me laugh. I'm not asking you to abandon anything. I'm asking you to let yourself feel something real. And then what? We sneak around? Have an affair? I become the cliché cheating wife? We figure it out together." Ava shook her head, backing away. "I can't. I'm sorry, Ethan. But I can't do this. I shouldn't have let it get this far." She turned and walked away quickly, almost running. Ethan stood frozen, watching her go, every instinct screaming at him to chase after her. But he didn't. She needed space. She needed time. He just hoped she'd come back. That night, Ethan couldn't eat, couldn't focus. I couldn't think about anything except Ava's face when she'd said she couldn't do this, the pain in her eyes, the longing. His phone buzzed at 11 p.m., a text from an unknown number. "I'm sorry about today. I'm scared. I haven't felt this way about anyone in so long, and I don't know how to handle it. I leave tomorrow at 3 p.m. If you want to see me before I go, I'm at the Plaza, room 1842. No pressure. I'll understand if you don't come. Ava." Ethan read it 3 times, his heart pounding. For the door. The Plaza lobby was elegant for the door. The Plaza lobby was elegant and hushed, the kind of place where discretion was guaranteed. Ethan took the elevator to the 18th floor, his pulse racing with every passing floor. By the time he reached room 1842, his hands were shaking. He knocked softly. Ava opened the door immediately, as if she'd been waiting on the other side. She'd changed into jeans and a sweater, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked vulnerable, hopeful, terrified. "You came," she whispered. "Did you think I wouldn't? I hoped you would, but I wouldn't have blamed you if you didn't." Ethan stepped inside. The room was spacious, elegant, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. But he barely noticed any of it. All he could see was Ava. "I've been thinking about what you said," she began, wringing her hands. "About feeling something real, about not putting my life on hold. And I realized you're right. Mark told me to find happiness, and I've been using guilt as an excuse not to. Not because I'm so devoted to him, but because I'm scared. Scared of being judged, scared of failing, scared of wanting something and losing it." "Ava, let me finish." She took a shaky breath. "I don't know how this works. I don't know how we can be together with all the complications and the distance and everything else, but I want to try. If you're willing to be patient with me, to understand that I can't give you everything right away, then I want to try." Ethan closed the distance between them in 2 strides, cupping her face in his hands. "I'll take whatever you can give me, however you can give it. It won't be easy. I don't care. People will judge us. Let them." Ava's eyes searched his face. "Why? Why are you willing to do this? You barely know me." "Because in the past 5 days I've felt more alive than I have in years. Because when I'm with you, everything makes sense. Because I think you're extraordinary, and I'm not walking away from that without a fight." A smile broke across her face, genuine and radiant. "You're either very brave or very foolish." "Probably both." She laughed, and then she was kissing him, her hands fisting in his shirt, pulling him closer. Ethan wrapped his arms around her, kissing her back with all the pent-up longing of the past 5 days. She tasted like hope and possibility, and everything he'd been missing without knowing it. When they finally broke apart, both breathless, Ava rested her forehead against his. "I leave tomorrow," she said, "but you're in San Francisco too." "I am. So we'll figure it out there, carefully, quietly, just between us for now. However you want to do this. To pack." At the door, she kissed him one to pack. At the door, she kissed him one more time. "See you in San Francisco?" "See you in San Francisco." Ethan walked back to his hotel as the sun rose, feeling like his whole world had shifted on its axis. He was falling in love with a married woman, and he didn't care. For the first time in his carefully controlled life, he was taking a risk, and it felt absolutely right. 2 weeks later, Ethan stood in his San Francisco apartment, staring at his phone. Ava had texted that she was coming over. Their first time seeing each other since New York. They'd texted constantly. Good morning messages, late-night conversations, stolen moments throughout the day. But this would be different. This would be real. In San Francisco, where her husband lay dying in a mansion across town, where their secret could be exposed at any moment. The knock came at 8 p.m. Ethan opened the door, and there she was. They didn't speak. Ava stepped inside, closed the door behind her, and kissed him like she'd been holding her breath for 2 weeks, and he was oxygen. Ethan pulled her close, losing himself in the moment, in her. "I missed you," she breathed against his lips. "I missed you too." They moved to the living room, settling onto the couch. Ava curled into his side, fitting perfectly against him. "How is he?" Ethan asked carefully. "The same. Always the same. The nurses say he's stable, which is the best we can hope for." She traced patterns on Ethan's chest. "I hate myself a little bit every time I leave that house to come see you." "We can stop. If it's too much, no." She looked up at him fiercely. "No, I need this. I need you. Is that selfish?" "It's human. I told the staff I joined a book club. That's where I am twice a week now." "Book club," she laughed bitterly. "God, listen to me. I sound like a character in a bad movie. The cheating wife with her elaborate lies. You're not cheating. Your marriage ended years ago in everything but name. Try telling that to the world. Try telling that to my father." Ava sighed. "He called yesterday. Wanted to know why I haven't been attending charity functions. I told him I was tired, needed time to myself. He said that wasn't acceptable, that I have responsibilities to uphold Mark's image." "Mark's image? What about your life?" "My life doesn't matter. It never has. I'm an accessory, a trophy, the dutiful wife standing by her man." She sat up, anger flashing in her eyes. "Do you know what my mother said when Mark got sick? She said it was my duty to stand by him, that this was what I signed up for when I married into wealth. Not love, not partnership. Duty." Ethan pulled her back into his arms. "You're more than that. So much more. With you, I feel like I am. Like I'm Ava, not Mrs. Henry. Not Stephen de Mornay's daughter. Just me." They spent the evening like that, talking and holding each other. Ava left at midnight, slipping out into the darkness like a ghost. Ethan watched from his window as her car disappeared down the street, heading back to that mansion, that prison. This became their routine. Twice a week, sometimes 3 times if they could manage it. Ava would arrive after dark, to stay a few hours, leave before dawn. They were careful, paranoid even. Different routes each time, no patterns that could be noticed. One night, 3 weeks into their arrangement, Ava stayed until morning. She told the staff she was visiting a friend in Napa overnight. They lay in Ethan's bed, tangled in sheets and each other. The sun was just starting to rise, casting golden light across her skin. "I could get used to this," Ava murmured, her head on his chest. "Waking up together? Being happy, it's so strange. I'd forgotten what it felt like." Ethan kissed the top of her head. "You deserve to be happy." "Do I? Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I think this is all going to come crashing down, and I'll deserve whatever punishment comes." "Don't talk like that. I'm being realistic. We can't do this forever, Ethan. Sooner or later, someone will find out. The staff will notice my absences. A neighbor will see me leaving your building. My father will dig deeper into my so-called book club. Then we'll deal with it when it happens. Easy for you to say. You're not the one everyone will vilify." Ethan propped himself up on his elbow, looking down at her. "Hey, look at me. Whatever happens, we face it together. I'm not going anywhere." Ava's eyes filled with tears. "You say that now. But when the scandal breaks, when your career is threatened, or when my father comes after you, and he will, you might feel differently. I won't. You can't know that. I can, because I—" He stopped himself, the words catching in his throat. Too soon. too intense, but Ava was looking at him with such hope, such vulnerability that he couldn't hold back. "Because I'm falling in love with you." The silence stretched between them. Ava's tears spilled over, running down her cheeks. "Say something," Ethan whispered. "I'm falling in love with you, too." "I think I have been since that plane ride," she cupped his face, "and that terrifies me more than anything else." He kissed her, tasting salt from her tears, and for a moment, everything else faded away. There was no sick husband, no judgmental parents, no looming scandal. Just them. But reality came crashing back when Ava's phone buzzed. She pulled away, checking the screen, and her face went pale. "What is it?" "Mark's nurse. His condition worsened overnight." "Oh, I'm back." "I'm sorry." "Don't apologize. Go back." "I'm sorry." "Don't apologize. Go. Be with him." "I'll call you when I can." "I'll be here." She kissed him quickly, desperately, then ran. Ethan stood in his empty apartment, the sheets still warm where she'd been, and wondered how long they could keep this up before something broke. The call came 3 days later. Mark had stabilized, but the episode had shaken everyone. Ava couldn't risk coming over. Too many eyes on her, too much scrutiny. They went 2 weeks without seeing each other. 2 weeks of texts and stolen phone calls, of longing and frustration. Ethan threw himself into work, taking on extra cases to distract himself. But nothing worked. Every quiet moment his mind went to her. When she finally came over again, she looked exhausted. Shadows under her eyes, or tension in her shoulders. "I can't do this much longer," she said, collapsing onto his couch. "The pretending, the lying. It's killing me." "What do you want to do?" "I don't know. Run away with you. Leave everything behind." She laughed hollowly. "But I can't. I won't abandon Mark when he's this fragile. And even if I could, where would we go? My father has resources, connections. He'd find us. Your father doesn't even know about me." "Not yet, but he will. He always finds out everything eventually." Ethan sat beside her, taking her hand. "Then let him find out. We'll face it together." "You don't understand what he's capable of. He's not just wealthy, Ethan. He's powerful, vindictive. If he decides you're a threat to the family image, he'll destroy you." "Let him try." Ava squeezed his hand. "Your confidence is admirable and naive, but I love you for it." "You love me?" She met his eyes. "Yes, I love you. God help me." "I do." They held each other as the night deepened around them, both knowing they were standing on the edge of something that could either save them or destroy them completely. The call came at 2 in the morning. Ethan jolted awake, fumbling for his phone in the darkness. "Hello?" "Ethan, it's Mom." Helen's voice was tight, controlled, the voice she used when trying not to panic. "I need you to come to New York. Now." He sat up, instantly alert. "What happened? Are you okay?" "I'm fine. It's Mia." Mia, his 8-year-old niece, Kay's daughter. "What about Mia?" "There was an incident tonight. A man," Helen's voice cracked, "a man tried to hurt her, tried to—" "She got away, Ethan. She's safe, but she's at the hospital and Kay isn't here." White-hot rage exploded in Ethan's chest. "What do you mean Kay isn't there?" "She's at some political fundraiser in Boston, said she couldn't leave, that her campaign manager would handle it." "Her campaign manager? Her 8-year-old daughter was almost—" He couldn't even say the word. "I'm getting the next flight out." "I knew you would. I'll text you the hospital information." Ethan was already out of bed, throwing clothes into a bag. He called the airline, booked a red-eye that left in 90 minutes. Then he called Ava. She answered on the second ring, her voice thick with sleep. "Ethan, what's wrong?" "I have to go to New York. Family emergency. My niece, Someone tried to hurt her. Oh my God, is she okay? She's at the hospital. I don't know the details yet. He zipped his bag closed. I'm sorry, I know this is sudden. Don't apologize. Go. Be with your family. Call me when you can. I love you. I love you too. Go. The flight was torture. 5 hours of sitting still while his mind raced with worst-case scenarios. What had happened? How bad was it? And where the hell was Kay? He arrived at the hospital at 7 a.m., exhausted and wired. Helen was in the waiting room, looking older than he'd ever seen her. Mom. He hugged her tight. Where is she? Room 304. The doctors checked her over. Physically, she's okay. He didn't get far. She fought him, screamed, ran. A neighbor heard and called 911. Jesus. Ethan's hands shook. And Kay? Helen's expression hardened. Still in Boston. Said she'd be here by noon. Noon? Her daughter was almost raped and she's taking her time. She said the fundraiser is crucial for her Senate campaign. That I was here, so Mia wasn't alone. Ethan wanted to put his fist through a wall. Instead, he took a deep breath and headed toward room 304. Mia sat on the hospital bed. Crumpled. Uncle Ethan! He crossed the crumpled. Uncle Ethan! He crossed the room in 2 strides, gathering her into his arms. She clung to him, sobbing into his shoulder. It's okay, sweetheart. You're safe now. I've got you. He grabbed me, she hiccuped. I was walking home from Emma's house, and he grabbed me and pulled me into the alley. He said if I screamed, he'd hurt me worse. Rage burned through Ethan's veins, but he kept his voice gentle. But you screamed anyway. You were so brave. I kicked him like Mommy taught me, in his private parts, and then I ran. That's my girl. He held her tighter. You did everything right. Where's Mommy? I want Mommy. Ethan's jaw clenched. She's coming, honey. She'll be here soon. But he knew the truth. Kay wasn't coming soon. Kay was putting her career first, like she always did. And this time, Ethan wasn't going to let it slide. Mia fell asleep in his arms around 8 a.m., exhausted from trauma and tears. Ethan laid her gently on the bed, pulling the blanket up to her chin. Helen appeared in the doorway. She asleep? Finally, Ethan stepped into the hallway. Has Kay called? 20 minutes ago. She'll be here by 1 now. Some interview ran long. An interview? Her daughter is traumatized and she's doing interviews. Ethan, don't what? Don't be angry that my sister is a terrible mother. Don't point out that she cares more about winning a Senate seat than protecting her child. Helen touched his arm. I know you're upset. I am too. But this isn't the time. When is the time, Mom? When Mia ends up dead because Kay was too busy campaigning to notice she was in danger. What are you saying? Ethan looked back at the room where his niece slept. I'm saying Mia needs to come live with me, in San Francisco, where someone will actually take care of her. Ethan, you can't just take Kay's daughter. Watch me. Kay Matthews arrived at 1:30, breezing into the hospital like she was making a campaign stop. Perfectly styled hair, designer suit, practiced smile. The smile faltered when she saw Ethan's face. Before you start, she began, where the hell were you? I was working. Some of us have responsibilities beyond. Your 8-year-old daughter was almost raped, Ethan's voice echoed down the hallway. She was attacked, traumatized, crying for you, and you were schmoozing donors in Boston. Kay glanced around nervously. Lower your voice. People are staring. I don't give a damn who's staring. Mia needed her mother, and you weren't here. I'm here now. 8 hours later. 8 hours, Kay. What kind of mother does that? Kay's expression turned cold. The kind who's trying to build a future for her daughter. You think Senate campaigns fund themselves? I'm doing this for Mia, to give her opportunities. She doesn't need opportunities. She needs a parent who gives a damn. That's not fair, isn't it? When was the last time you went to one of her school events? When was the last time you had dinner with her? When was the last time you put her to bed? Kay's face flushed. I'm busy. I have a career. And Mia has trauma, so congratulations on your priorities. Helen stepped between them. Both of you, stop. This isn't helping. But Ethan was done. He turned to Kay, his voice deadly calm. Mia's coming to live with me. Excuse me? You heard me. She's coming to San Francisco. I'll enroll her in school, take care of her, actually be present in her life. Kay laughed, sharp and bitter. You can't be serious. You're a bachelor with a demanding job. What do you know about raising a child? More than you, apparently. You have no right. I have every right. I'm her uncle, and I'm not going to stand by while you neglect her for your political ambitions. It's not neglect. I provide for her, give her everything. Everything except your time, your attention, your love. Ethan shook his head. Money isn't enough, Kay. She needs more than that. And you think you can give her that? You, who works 70-hour weeks, who barely has time for a personal life. I'll make time. Whatever it takes. Kay stepped closer, her voice dropping to a hiss. This is about control, about making yourself feel superior. But you're not taking my daughter. Try and stop me. They stared at each other, years of sibling rivalry and resentment boiling to the surface. Finally, Helen spoke. Mia should decide. They both turned to her. Helen looked tired but resolute. She's 8 years old, Helen continued. Old enough to have a say. Ask her what she wants. And both of you need to respect her answer. They gathered in Mia's hospital room. She was awake now, picking at the lunch tray a nurse had brought. When she saw Kay, her face lit up briefly before dimming again. Hi, Mommy. Kay rushed over, pulling Mia into a hug that looked more performative than genuine. Baby, I'm so sorry I wasn't here sooner. Work was crazy, but I'm here now. It's okay. But Mia's voice was small, unconvinced. Kay pulled back, smoothing Mia's hair. The doctors say you're going to be fine. We'll go home tomorrow, get you back to normal. Actually, Ethan interrupted, we need to talk about that. Kay shot him a warning glare, but he ignored it. He sat on the edge of Mia's bed, taking her small hand in his. Mia, sweetheart, your grandma and I have been talking, and we think maybe you'd like to come stay with me for a while in San Francisco. Mia's eyes widened. Really? With you? If you want to. So you'd have your own room, we'd find you a good school, and I'd be there every day. After school, bedtime, all of it. Ethan, stop, Kay said sharply. You're confusing her. I'm giving her a choice. She's 8 years old enough to know what she needs. Ethan kept his eyes on Mia. What do you think, sweetheart? Would you like that? Mia looked between her mother and uncle, conflict clear on her young face. Would I still see Mommy? Of course, whenever she can visit. And you can call her every day. But I'd live with you? Yes. Tears welled in Mia's eyes. I don't want to hurt Mommy's feelings. Kay knelt beside the bed. Baby, you won't hurt my feelings. This is your home, with me. Uncle Ethan is being silly. Mommy, you're never home. The words came out quiet but devastating. You're always working, always at meetings or trips or events. Mrs. Chen puts me to bed every night. Not you. Kay's face went pale. That's not. I'm building something important. It's for us. But I miss you. Mia's voice cracked. I miss having a mommy who's actually there. The silence in the room was suffocating. Kay stood abruptly, her hands shaking. Fine, fine. If you want to go with Ethan, go. Clearly, I'm the terrible mother here. She grabbed her purse. I have a campaign meeting at 4. Helen, you'll handle the discharge paperwork. Kay, Helen started. But Kay was already walking out, her heels clicking sharply against the linoleum. Mia burst into tears. I didn't mean to make her mad. Ethan pulled her close. Shh, it's not your fault. Your mom just needs some time. She'll understand. Will she? Honestly, Ethan didn't know. Kay had always been stubborn, prideful, but he couldn't think about that now. Mia needed him. Let's get you home, okay? We'll pack your things, get you settled in San Francisco, and everything will be better. I promise. Helen squeezed his shoulder. Are you sure about this? Raising a child is a huge responsibility. I'm sure. She needs stability, love. I can give her that. And your job, your personal life. Ethan thought of Ava, their secret relationship, the careful balancing act they'd been maintaining. This would complicate everything. But looking at Mia's tear-stained face, he knew there was no other choice. I'll figure it out. 3 days later, Ethan and Mia flew to San Francisco. Kay hadn't spoken to him since the hospital, communicating only through terse texts about Mia's belongings and medical records. Helen had tried to mediate, but Kay was immovable in her anger. Ethan had prepared his apartment as best he could. He'd converted his home office into a bedroom, bought furniture, enrolled Mia in a nearby elementary school. But he was terrified. What did he know about raising a child? Mia clutched her stuffed rabbit as they entered the apartment, looking small and lost. This is home now, Ethan said gently. Want to see your room? He led her down the hall. He'd painted the walls a soft lavender, bought a white bed frame with a floral comforter, added bookshelves and a desk. Mia stepped inside slowly, taking it all in. It's pretty, she said quietly. You can decorate it however you want. We'll go shopping this weekend, get posters or whatever you like. Okay. She sat on the bed, still holding her rabbit. Ethan sat beside her. I know this is scary. New place, new school, everything different. Mommy loves me? Ethan's heart broke. Of Mommy loves me? Ethan's heart broke. Of course she does. She shows it differently. She's focused on her career right now, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Then why did she let me go so easily? He didn't have a good answer for that, so he just held her, letting her cry against his shoulder until she fell asleep. Are you holding up? Ava asked. Honestly? Are you holding up? Ava asked. Honestly, I'm terrified. I have no idea what I'm doing. You're doing the right thing. That little girl needs you. I know, but Ava, this changes things. For us. Silence on the other end. Then, I know. You can't just come over anymore. Not with Mia here. And I can't leave her alone at night. We'll have to figure out a new way. Ethan, stop. We'll figure it out. Maybe I can come over during the day while she's at school, or we can meet somewhere. We'll make it work. You're not upset? Of course not. That little girl comes first, always. Ethan felt a surge of love for this woman. Have I told you lately that you're amazing? Not in the past hour. I was starting to worry. He laughed, some of the tension leaving his shoulders. I love you. I love you too. Now go get some sleep. You have a big day tomorrow. Breakfast with an 8-year-old, first day of school drop-off, parent-teacher meetings. God, what have I gotten myself into? Fatherhood, and you're going to be great at it. After they hung up, Ethan checked on Mia one more time. She was curled up under the covers, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin. In sleep, she looked peaceful, safe. He'd made the right choice. He knew he had. But as he lay in his own bed, staring at the ceiling, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much more complicated. The first week with Mia was a learning curve. Ethan discovered he couldn't make pancakes without burning them. that 8-year-olds had strong opinions about clothing, and that bedtime routines were sacred rituals not to be rushed. But they found their rhythm. Morning walks to school, homework at the kitchen table, dinner together every night. Simple things that Mia had been missing. On Thursday afternoon, Ethan's doorbell rang. He opened it to find Ava standing there, all holding a bag from a toy store. "I hope this is okay," she said nervously. "I wanted to meet her. If that's all right with you." Ethan's heart swelled. "Come in." Mia was in the living room, coloring. She looked up when Ava entered, curious but cautious. "Mia, this is my friend Ava. Ava, this is my niece, Mia." Ava knelt down to Mia's level, her smile warm and genuine. "Hi, Mia. Your uncle has told me so much about you. I brought you something." She held out the bag. Mia peeked inside and gasped. "Art supplies. Your uncle mentioned you like to draw. I thought you might enjoy these." Mia pulled out the professional-grade colored pencils, the sketchbooks, the watercolors. "These are so cool. Thank you." "You're very welcome." For the next hour, Ava sat with Mia at the coffee table, drawing together. Ethan watched from the kitchen, pretending to prepare snacks, but really just observing. The way Ava praised Mia's drawings, asked questions about her day, listened with genuine interest. And so naturally, so easily, after Mia went to so naturally, so easily, after Mia went to bed that night, Ava and Ethan sat on the couch together. "She's wonderful," Ava said softly. "She liked you. That's not easy to earn. I liked her too. She's smart, creative, resilient. Considering what she's been through. I know. Sometimes I look at her and I can't believe how strong she is." Ethan took Ava's hand. "Thank you. For coming. For being so good with her." "I meant what I said. We'll make this work, whatever it takes." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Ava spoke again. "I've been thinking about us, about the situation. Maybe I could help more. With Mia. If you'd want that." "Ava, you don't have to." "I want to. I don't have children. Never will, probably." "I take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on." "I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on. I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on. I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on. I'm sure. Besides, every little thing I do is a lot to take on. I'm sure. Besides, every little girl needs positive female role models, someone who shows up, who cares. Unlike her mother. I wasn't going to say it, but you were thinking it. Ava smiled sadly. Your sister made her choices. Now we make ours. Over the next 2 weeks, Ava became a regular presence in their lives. She'd come over after school, help Mia with homework, take her to the park. She taught Mia how to bake cookies, how to braid hair, how to paint with watercolors. Mia adored her. Is Miss Ava your girlfriend? Mia asked one night at dinner. Ethan nearly choked on his water. What makes you ask that? You look at her the way Prince Eric looks at Ariel in The Little Mermaid, all googly-eyed. Ava laughed, her cheeks flushing. Well, yes, I am his girlfriend. Cool, she's really nice, Uncle Ethan. You should marry her. Mia! Ethan felt his face burning. What? That's what people do when they love each other, right? They get married. Ava reached across the table, squeezing Ethan's hand. Sometimes it's more complicated than that, sweetheart. But thank you. That's very sweet. Later, after Mia was asleep, Ethan walked Ava to her car. Sorry about that. The marriage comment. Don't apologize. She's a romantic. It's adorable. Ava paused. Although it did make me think. About? About what we're doing. This can't stay secret forever, Ethan. Especially not now, with Mia involved. She'll say something eventually. Kids always do. I know, but if people find out, then they find out. Maybe it's time to stop hiding. Ethan wanted to agree, but he thought of Mark, of Ava's father, of all the complications waiting to explode. Let's get through these next few weeks. Get Mia settled. Then we'll figure out the rest. Ava nodded, but something in her expression had shifted. A distance, a resignation. Okay, we'll wait. She kissed him goodnight and drove away. Ethan stood in the driveway watching her taillights disappear, feeling like he'd just made a mistake but not knowing how to fix it. The call from Kay came 3 weeks after Mia had moved in. Ethan answered, immediately wary. I want her back. No greeting, no pleasantries. Just that. Kay, don't. I've thought about this. I made a mistake. She's my daughter and I want her back in New York. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. I've rearranged my schedule, hired a new nanny. Someone who'll be there consistently. I've thought this through. You've thought this through? Kay, Mia is happy here. She's thriving. She has friends, a routine, stability. She has me, her mother. That's what matters. Ethan's grip tightened on the phone. Or where was that maternal instinct 3 weeks ago when you let her go without a fight? I was in shock, hurt. I made a mistake and I'm fixing it. Tell Mia to pack her things. I'm coming to get her this weekend. No. Excuse me. I said no. You don't get to play yo-yo with her life. You don't get to ignore her until it's politically convenient to play devoted mother again. Kay's voice turned icy. I could take you to court, get a custody order. Try it. Let's see how that plays in the press. Senate candidate abandons traumatized daughter, then demands her back for photo ops. You bastard. I'm protecting Mia, something you should have been doing all along. Kay hung up. Ethan stood there, hands shaking, knowing this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. That night, Mia came to him while he was cleaning up from dinner. Uncle Ethan, I need to tell you something. He knelt down to her level. What is it, sweetheart? I talked to Mommy today. She called while you were at work, and Mrs. Rodriguez let me answer. Mrs. Rodriguez was the neighbor who watched Mia for the hour between school ending and Ethan getting home. What did your mom say? She asked me lots of questions about you, about Miss Ava, about what we do and who comes over. Mia's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell her about Miss Ava. It just came out. Ethan's stomach dropped. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. What exactly did you tell her? That Miss Ava comes over a lot, that she's really nice and helps me with homework, and that you two are together. That she makes you happy. Mia sniffled. Did I mess up? No, baby. You didn't mess up at all. But even as he said it, Ethan knew the damage was done. Kay knew about Ava now, and knowing Kay, she wouldn't keep that information to herself. Kay called again the next morning. Ethan answered on the first ring, already bracing himself. So, Kay said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Ava. Tell me about Ava. There's nothing to tell. Really, because Mia seems to think she's quite important to you. Comes over regularly, helps with homework, makes you happy. Kay paused. She also mentioned that Ava wears a wedding ring. Ethan's blood ran cold. Kay, I did some research. Ava Henry, wife of Mark Henry, the billionaire who's been bedridden for 7 years. Well, 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 my brother, the attorney with such high moral standards, is sleeping with a married woman. It's not like that, isn't it? Does her husband know? Do her parents? Does anyone know you're having an affair with someone's wife? My personal life is none of your business. It is when my daughter is involved, when she's being exposed to your sordid little secret. Talk about how you're teaching Mia that it's okay to lie, to sneak around, to destroy families. That's the lesson she's learning from you and your mistress. Ava is not my mistress, and you have no right to judge me when you couldn't even be bothered to show up for your own daughter. I'm her mother. I have every right. Kay's voice turned calculating. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to end things with this married woman, and you're going to send Mia back to me. If you don't, I'll make sure everyone knows what you're doing. Your law firm, your colleagues, Ava's family. I'll destroy both of you. You wouldn't. Try me. I'm running for Senate, Ethan. I know how to play dirty, and I know how to spin a story. The question is, how much are you willing to lose? She hung up before he could respond. Ethan stood frozen in his kitchen, or his mind racing. Kay was serious. She'd do exactly what she threatened. And if she went public with this, it wouldn't just destroy him, it would destroy Ava. That evening, after Mia was asleep, he told Ava everything. She listened in silence, her face growing paler with each word. When he finished, she stood and walked to the window, staring out at the city lights. She's right, Ava said finally. What? Your sister. She's right. This was always going to blow up. I was naive to think we could keep it secret forever. Ava, my father is going to find out. Mark's family is going to find out. And when they do... She turned to face him, tears streaming down her cheeks. They'll crucify me, call me a whore, a gold digger, say I'm killing Mark with stress. My father will disown me. Mark's family will contest his will, make sure I get nothing. I don't care about any of that. We'll face it together. And what about Mia? You think Kay won't use this against you in court? She'll paint you as an immoral influence. A judge might side with her. Ethan hadn't thought of that. The possibility of losing Mia made his chest tighten. So what do you want to do? He asked quietly. Ava wiped her tears. I think maybe we need to take a step back. For now, just until things settle down. You mean break up? I mean give Kay less ammunition. if we're not seeing each other, so she can't use our relationship against you? That's not taking a step back. That's ending things. Temporarily, just until... Until when, Ava? Until Kay gets bored? Until Mark dies? When exactly? I don't know. I just know that I can't be the reason you lose Mia. I won't be that person. Ethan crossed the room, taking her hands. Listen to me. I love you. And yes, this is complicated and messy and terrifying. But I'm not giving up on us because my sister is threatening me. Even if it means losing Mia, it won't come to that. You can't know that. Then we'll fight. We'll get lawyers. Ethan, stop. Ava pulled her hands away. You're not thinking clearly. This isn't just about us anymore. There's a child involved, a traumatized little girl who needs stability, not more chaos. Having you in her life isn't chaos. You're good for her. She loves you. And I love her. Have to, before I change my mind. She have to, before I change my mind. She stopped at the door, looking back at him with so much pain in her eyes, it physically hurt. I do love you. Remember that. Then she was gone, and Ethan was alone in his apartment, feeling like his world had just collapsed. He didn't hear from Ava for 3 days. He texted, called, left voicemails. Nothing. Radio silence. Mia noticed immediately. Where's Miss Ava? Is she mad at me? No, sweetheart. She's just busy right now. But she always comes over. Did I do something wrong? You didn't do anything wrong, I promise. But Mia wasn't convinced. She became quiet, withdrawn. Her teacher called to say she'd been crying at school. The stability Ethan had worked so hard to build was cracking. On the 4th day, Kay showed up unannounced. Ethan opened the door to find his sister standing there in a business suit, her expression triumphant. I came to discuss arrangements for Mia's return to New York. She's not going back. I think she is, unless you'd like me to start making calls. To the partners at your firm, perhaps. I'm sure they'd be fascinated to know about your relationship with Mrs. Henry. I'm not seeing Ava anymore. You got what you wanted. Kay raised an eyebrow. Really? How convenient. And I'm supposed to just believe that? Believe whatever you want. But leave Ava out of this. Oh, I intend to. As long as you send Mia home where she belongs. Her home is here now. Is it? Because from what I hear, she's been crying at school, acting out. Doesn't sound like she's thriving to me. Ethan wanted to hit something. That's because you upset her. You put pressure on her, made her feel guilty. I simply reminded my daughter that she has a mother who loves her. If that upset her, maybe you should ask yourself why. They stared at each other, years of resentment boiling over. You don't care about Mia, Ethan said quietly. You never have. This is about control, about winning. Think what you want, but my daughter is coming home with me this weekend. Pack her things. Kay turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and Ethan. I did some more digging on your Ava. Interesting woman. I'd hate for her husband to find out about your little affair. Or her parents. The De Mornays are quite powerful, aren't they? I wonder what they'd do if they knew their daughter was cheating on her dying husband. Don't you dare, Kay smiled. Then give me my daughter back. It's that simple. After she left, Ethan sat on his couch, head in his hands. He was trapped. If he fought Kay on this, she'd destroy Ava. But if he gave Mia back, he'd be sending her back to a life of neglect. There had to be another way. There had to be. His phone buzzed. Say a text from an unknown number. Mr. Hale, this is Robert Chen, Mark Henry's personal attorney. Mr. Henry would like to meet with you at your earliest convenience. Please call to arrange a time. Ethan stared at the message, his heart pounding. Mark Henry wanted to meet with him, which meant Mark knew. Kay must have made good on her threat, contacted him somehow. This was it. The moment everything fell apart. With shaking hands, Ethan called the number. Just when Ethan thought things couldn't get worse. Mark Henry himself wants to meet him. A bedridden billionaire, a secret affair, a ruthless sister, and a little girl caught in the middle. What does Mark Henry know? Did Kay expose everything? And what will happen when Ethan finally walks into that room? If you want to see what happens next, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss part 2. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what do you think Mark Henry wants from Ethan?